You never know what's going to happen at the bee yard. So this is the Queenless cell builder. I guess in my opinion, and I'm not an expert on cell builders at all, but I'd say that this probably might be the easiest cell builder for like the backyard beekeeper. Well, the main reason is because it's queenless. You don't have to worry about finding the queen. At least with this method, you don't have to worry about finding the queen. You don't have to worry about making a queen right or any of that stuff. You just get rid of the queen, remove the queen, and just use the queenless cell builder as your starter finisher. So just let me show you what I did here. This is actually a nuke that I have, obviously, but I put in a queen excluder, and I didn't have my 4-frame excluder, so I had to go ahead and use this. But what I'm doing is I'm separating the bees. That was 7 days ago. So what I'm doing, what I need to do is I need to go into these boxes and find which box has the queen. So I'm betting this top box is the queenless box. So that's the box that's actually going to turn into my cell builder. However, I do need to go into that bottom box to make sure that there are eggs down there. I need to make sure that the queen is down there. Well, I can pretty much tell you right now, the queen's down on the bottom because this frame is loaded with capped brood, and there is very young larvae and eggs. So this is where my queen is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this box over here to this other location right here, my new hive stands. I built these hive stands just for this sort of thing, managing my nukes and my swarms. So then in its place, I'm going to put the queenless box here in its place. All these foragers in this box, and all those foragers that are out there flying around, gathering right now, they're all going to come back to this same spot. And they're going to all end up in the queenless cell builder. And that's going to boost that population of the queenless cell builder immensely. Okay, so let me go ahead and start switching these boxes around. I'll get the queen right box is going to go here. The queenless cell builder is going to go back in this original position. There I went ahead and I switched the positions. Now all of those foragers from this box here and all those foragers that are out there foraging right now, they're all going to fly back into this box here, and that's going to boost the population of these bees. Look at these bees, how kind of populated, kind of overpopulated that is. Guess what? That isn't even nearly enough bees to do a cell builder. And the reason I know that is because I messed around for like 5 or 6 years trying to raise bees, and then just about last April I went down to Shenandoah Bee Supply, and I did a class that Bill put on down there. He did a queen grafting class. However, he also, though, in that class, he actually showed us and walked us through. I got a bee cone on my pant leg. I gotta get that out. Bill walked us through building a cell builder and taught us what that cell builder should look like. And I can tell you right now that this is not enough bees. So once all those foragers make it back here to this location, this population is going to increase dramatically, but I'm still not going to be satisfied. I'm going to take some brood from the original box, from the Queenless box, and I'm going to put that brood over in here. There's lots of brood in there. I'm going to maybe knock this box down to maybe like 1 or 2 frames of brood, give the rest of it to this box, and then by this weekend, hopefully, I'm going to have enough population that I can do some grafting. So let's go ahead and let me go ahead and switch some of this brood around. That's pure brood. This is going to be a nice frame. Okay, this is what you want, like a nice frame of brood like that. It's all capped, it's emerging. And there is a little bit of larvae in there, so hopefully that'll be capped by the next weekend. But that's what I want. I need a couple of frames of this. So I gotta get this in the cell builder though, because it's getting cooler out. There you go. Yeah, these aren't liking that. That's all I'm going to do for tonight, because it is getting cooler out. Okay, this cell builder is 5 days old. The queen is gone. It's loaded up with foragers, or at least I think it is. We're going to pop the top off here in a second. But I did put, I think at this point it has like 4 frames of brood in here, capped brood. Some of that brood was not capped, so I also, when I go in here, I need to make sure that there's no queen cells started in here. At this point, it's probably ready to go. I mean, it's already kind of getting to the point where 5 days for a builder is getting a little bit. It's still young, but it's getting a little bit older. I'm gonna have to put some brood in here. I think some young brood, nurse brood, and then it'll be ready to go. I'm hoping. I'm crossing my fingers on that. So let's take a look right now and see what the population looks like. That's not bad. It should be a little bit better, but I don't know what's in the bottom box yet. Typically you would want that boiling over, and that's kind of boiling over, but not quite there yet. It's all nicely populated. Uh-oh. There are my queen cells. Yes, there, queen cells. We got to get rid of those queen cells. Quite a few queen cells on here, actually. Because you can't have a cell builder with queen cells. That one there's capped off completely. The rest of them are all charged, of course. Because when I put this brood in here, I couldn't find frames of brood. Like, they were like completely, entirely capped. So I had to put some in there that had, obviously, like eggs and larvae in it. And that's what they did. They created the queen cells. So I'm going to get rid of these queen cells. And actually, I might save that one because it looks pretty good. Looks like a pretty nice queen cell. I'm sure I could use it somewhere. There's one queen cell gone. There's a queen cell gone. You got to get them out of there and get them out of there good. I should actually use that for grafting. Maybe I'll try that. That's actually a good idea. Prime my cells with royal jelly before I graft. I've never tried it before, but I might try it today. What else do we got here? I'm gonna clean everything out of it. I don't want them creating anything else in here. Get rid of that. Okay, I'm going to go through the rest of this hive and look for more queen cells in the bottom box, and I will shut the camera off for that because I'm just wasting too much battery. My batteries don't last. These little bees are kind of stingy today. They're a little bit aggressive, but I think that's a lot of population in there compared to my old cell builders before I went down to Bill's workshop. This has about 1,000 times more bees in it, so I'm happy with this. There's still about, I'm going to say there's about 3 frames of brood in here that is about to emerge. So I'm not going to put any more brood in here, but I am going to go through a couple of my other hives and see if I can get some nurse bees and dump in here, hopefully without putting a queen in here. So I'm going to put this back together and find some nurse bees, and then I'm going to start grafting. Okay, this is the original hive that I started with. I built my cell builder off of this hive. So the reason I'm coming to this hive for nurse bees is because, kind of sounds a little bit counterintuitive, but I know the population is going to be low in this hive, and it's going to be easy to find the queen in this hive, or easier, I should say. And because the last thing I want to do is shake my queen into my cell builder. At least that's my plan on how it should work. It may not. I don't really want to smoke them because I don't want to lose any nurse bees. I don't want to chase them all around. First thing I need to do is find that queen. Actually, the first thing I need to do is check and see if there's actually any brood in this hive. And there is a little bit of brood in there. And it's emerging brood. I could actually use this in my cell builder, but I'm not going to because I don't need it. Okay, so those are all nurse bees. Do I see a queen anywhere? I do see a queen. Right there's my queen. I'm gonna mark her while I can. Okay, I did not mark the queen. I gave up on her. She was playing chase. So instead I put her in a quiet box so she's isolated, and I'm just gonna take some nurse bees and put them in the other hive, my cell builder. These snell growth boards come in so handy for so many different things. It won't take but a few minutes for all these nurse bees to walk their way right into this cell builder. They're already starting to go in. Look at that top. So there's a nice population in here. This hive has real good population for a cell builder, at least in my opinion. We'll find out. Okay, let's take a look at these bees. This hive right here is by far my most robust hive of the whole yard. It just started off as a little tiny underpopulated single deep. I overwintered this in a single deep. Came out low population. I didn't know if it was really going to make it or not, but look at it now, and it's working on its filling. It's capping off its third. It's not capping off. It's filling its third super. So, and these bees are very nice and gentle. I like these bees a lot. I'm gonna have to. This is the hard part, and I'm not going to show this on camera because it's just going to be too much, and that's not what this video is about. But I got to go into this hive right here and find some larvae. So that's my next step. Hopefully I find a good frame of larvae, and then I'll do some grafting because it is getting late out and I got to get this over with. Wish me luck. Well, I decided to not graft from that one. That one is too loaded with bees. I don't feel like dealing with it. This one here, it only has 2 supers on it. They are working on that top super though. I should rotate them. But, I'm going to take some bees from here because it's also a good hive. Really like the colony, so hopefully I can find some good larvae in there. I kind of hit the jackpot. It was a 3rd frame I pulled and it had some real nice, what I think is the right age larvae. So let me see. Not real good at this yet. I'm really not. As long as I don't get stung in the face. And I just about did. And bees are mad at me. Oh, they're coming after me. They're not liking me. Yeah, they're not liking me at all. Whatever you do, sting me anywhere, not my face. Come on. So a couple of things I learned down at Bill Gartner's Shenandoah Bee Supply. His seminar is like kind of like I guess sanding down or getting the tip of your Chinese grafting tool. It needs to be a little bit flexible, if you can see that, so that like if you go off your fingernail, it needs to be able to fold real nice like that. The new ones, like if you buy a new if you have a new one and you don't sand this down, it's just too stiff. It's just gonna poke right through the wax, or it's just gonna push that larvae. So I use the one of those emery files that women use for their fingernails, and I just sanded the tip down, and now it's real nice and flexible, and it should be able to just go right underneath that larvae and pick it right up. Should be able to do that. We'll see. And I have my swarm cells that I pulled out that there's a larvae, the making of a queen right there, but I'm gonna take some of that royal jelly, and I'm gonna put it on the tip. And all right, I'm gonna shut the camera off, shut my door. There you go, there's 30 grafts. So what I was doing, or what I learned when I was down at Bill's, was that sometimes I think you can like pick a larvae that's too small. Maybe for like beginner grafters, it might be better to pick a larvae that's just slightly bigger. But the main thing like that I figured out down there where I was going wrong, I was always looking for that super small larvae, and there was hardly any royal jelly in there at all. So now like today when I was grafting, I was picking up some of those really tiny ones, but I was also going for something that was like a little bit bigger, a little bit larger, so that I could actually see it and actually scoop and get under it. And here's the thing, when you got those really young larvae, like that first day larvae, there's hardly any royal jelly in there. What I did was, these are like the swarm cells that I pulled out of the cell builder, and see that royal jelly in there? And I was just taking that and I was just dipping the tip of that grafting tool in there, just a little bit on there, and then that way you can slide underneath. And when you're sliding it in, I would always get in that bad habit because I can't get it the right angle. I would always like angle my grafting tool this way. You have to get behind it and like where the curved part is, and then just skip and make sure your grafting tool is straight up. If you put it on the side like that, you're not going to get it right. You're not going to be able to place it in the cell cup. So just make sure it's straight up and just slowly, don't even try to look at it, just push it down in until you can't push it anymore, and then pick it straight up. Don't try to scoop it out like I would always do that. I would go down in, I don't know if you can see, I would always go down in and try to scoop it like that. All you're doing then is you're just pushing the larvae and you're crushing it into the side of the cell wall. Go straight down in, dip a little bit of that on there like that. Go straight down in, and don't until it stops, very gently until it stops, and then just pull it straight back out. Don't try to scoop it, just straight back out. And then after I started getting good at it, probably like maybe like 6 out of 7 times, I had the larvae on the end of the grafting tool, and I could just like place it into the queen cup. And that worked pretty good. Now, if you're dipping it like that, it does, like into this royal jelly, it does get to the point where this gets too wet. So then you just got to kind of like wipe it off and then start clean. And it actually, there is a point where it gets too wet. And then that starts working against you, because then I had like the larvae sticking up the side of the grafting tool and everything. It was just so sticky. Cleaned it off. Just put a little dab of royal jelly on there, and then that just makes it, that just lubes that end up enough so that it slides right underneath that larvae, and then you don't scoop it out, you just back it up. Go straight down in until you can't go down in it, and then back it straight back out, and then you'll have your larvae, if everything goes right, you'll have your larvae on the very end of it. But that's what I did. So it's just something that I discovered. I didn't discover that. I'm sure like people have been doing this forever. A lot of people have talked about using royal jelly out of swarm cells. I tried it today and it worked pretty good. So anyway, that's it for my grafting for the day. Finally got that over with. If this batch goes well, I might try another batch before the end of summer. Okay, so I came out to check my grafts, see what's going on with them, and I was laying in bed the other night, and I just had this bad feeling that I had a queen inside my cell builder. So I started getting all like obsessed with that over the past couple days. So that's why I'm here. Okay, look at this. So, what is that, 19? I think I counted 19. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. That's 19 takes out of 30 grafts. So that's better than 50%. I am like super happy with that, because this is the best that I've ever done. The most I've ever done before was like, I would usually only graft like 20, and then I would get I'd be lucky to get 1 or 2. And actually the last time I grafted, I got no takes on it at all. So I went down there to visit Bill for a weekend, and this was the outcome. So if you're having trouble with your grafting, you got maybe just go take a class. Maybe that's all you need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and remove all these and then put them in curler cages, and then I'm going to put them back in my cell builder, because my cell builder is actually going to be my incubator. So yesterday would have been the 16th day, which would have been Queen emerging day. So let's go in and see what I got. Fingers crossed. So it looks like I got 14 queens hatched out of 19 queen cells, and 2 or 3 of them look like they're still hatching out. One's definitely dead, but I'm very happy with this. So my next step is to figure out, like, what am I going to do with all these queens, and what's my next step? I gotta like find like mating nukes. I know I got like 3 or 4, maybe more, maybe 5 hives I'm going to requeen. So yeah, I'll definitely be able to use all these queens. But this is a major like milestone in my beekeeping. This really changes everything for me, and it changes what kind of a beekeeper that I can be in the future. A much better, more efficient beekeeper, and a much more profitable beekeeper. If you don't know how to graft, if you have trouble grafting, go down and see Bill at Shenandoah Bee Supply. He'll straighten you right out. I need to get into like UBO, and been researching more about that, and seeing how I can use that, or Harbo or something. I don't know if that's like really feasible for like a really small apiary like mine, but at least I think with those tests I can at least determine if, you know, how mite resistant my bees are, and hopefully they are mite resistant, and that's always a plus for selling queens, right? So anyway, that's all I got for now. I'm just happy that after all these years, I finally got my first successful batch of queens, and it can only get better from here on out. I'm Darren, I'm the Pennsylvania Beekeeper, and I will see you next time.